Subscribe to my channel if this is the new or a remix. Don't forget to hit the like and sub. This is your boy Turk Vincent on the mic. Gotta subscribe, hit the notification bell, follow my stream, send me some bits and send me some subs on my Twitch and my YouTube. I'll put the dollar in the bank that you give me, so I can use it for some good gifties. This is a gaming channel. This is the Turk Vincent Valentine, boy! What's up, my archfiends of chaos? It's your king of the night, Vincent Valentine EX Turk, and we're going to be switching things up and going for advice. Well, maybe not advice, but discussion topic, and we're going to be talking about emotional males. And I noticed most males growing up without two parents in their lives, and it does kind of mess with you just a little bit, because then you don't know how to, think logically, or be emotionally in control of stuff. Now, it's important as a male to be in control. It's not bad to have emotions. Emotions are very good for us, but it's when you get to the point where you start to think you're right about everything, to the point where you end up acting kind of cancerous and bad, and bad and stuff like that, to the point where you're just a little bit offset and you're irrational. Your irrationality is what causes you to fall. One thing is to detach yourself from what you're too attached to, and I've learned to do that. I've practiced meditation. I've practiced meditation enough to be detached from things. That's why when I see a rude comment on my YouTube, I don't get as emotional as I did before. Now, the point I'm trying to say is that when you get too emotional, you start to make irrational decisions. You gotta think more logically. And this is why it's good to avoid alcohol. It's good to avoid any kind of mind-altering substance, because it's just going to make your emotional state even worse. And when you're at the worst emotional state, you're going to end up doing stuff that's pretty bad. You're going to end up doing stuff that's, pretty bad, and you're going to regret it for the rest of your life. The point I'm trying to say is that, it's not bad to show emotion. Some girls like that, but there's a time and place to be emotional. If you're over emotional in your dealings, when you can't handle stress, you break down and have a mental breakdown all the time, then of course you're going to do something illogical and kind of stupid that you're going to end up regretting later on. So it's just best not to have that much emotional state if you can really help it, because the problem with emotional males is that they'll end up doing things out of unlogical things, thinking it's going to either work, or I don't think it's really they think that it's going to work. It's just they feel something, so they must act on what you feel instead of use logical senses not to do something. Such as let's take a little small example. Like if there's a girl that they like, and there's another person that's trying to pursue that girl, such as if they would fight that other male just to impress the girl, or fight the other male because the guy treats him bad. It's kind of an illogical thing, because don't get me wrong, when you see something domestic violence happening, you should do something, but I'm not talking about the things of domestic violence. But if let's just say the boyfriend's looking at another girl while they're with their girlfriend, then you really can't interfere just because you like that girl, or if that girl is going for the other guy, then you can't get mad and try to start a fight over that girl, because if you do, then it just makes you an emotional, weak male. If I'm making any kind of sense, what I'm trying to say is that there's times and places for emotions, and there's times and places for logical thinking. Same thing when I see like people argue about stuff on the internet. Most of the people who argue about political stuff, video game stuff, etc., any kind of posting on the internet, any kind of tweet, and they find they need to make a 5-page argument about whatever the subject is, then that's using too much emotional stuff, and then you're using too much time and energy, meaning that you're attached to, you're super attached to what you're trying to defend. Whether it's a political thing, whether it's a sexuality thing, whether it's a fandom post, you're getting too attached to it, which makes you look illogical when you post a 4 or 5 page argument of why this shouldn't be, or this is why or not. You're getting too invested in it. And this is what I'm trying to say. This is the advice. It's okay to have emotions. Just remember, you cannot discard, nor should you ever discard logical thinking skills. You still need to have logical thinking skills in order to be a functioning human being. If you have no logical thinking skills, you're going to do something that you're going to regret. And once you do that, you're going to regret it for the rest of your life, and that's going to be part of your legacy, that you did this and that just because you were emotional, because you felt like, and it should go for females too. I think females need to use logical thinking skills too. I think if we there's some time and point where we have to discard our emotions and actually focus on our true goal and objective. Once we focus on our true goal and objective, that everything will go nicely. If you focus on your true goal and stuff like that, instead of, that's when you should discard emotions. Now, when it comes to, like, I don't know, if there's a sad scene in a movie and you're with a girlfriend, go ahead, break loose and cry. I mean, most girls like that. Just go ahead, break loose, and, I'm not gonna lie. I cried like a little bitch when I saw Anakin killing kids in Star Wars Episode 3. Of course, I was still a kid, but I was crying like a little bitch when I watched Star Wars Episode 3 and seeing Anakin kill all those kids. So, and the same thing when the first time I saw Aerys die. Of course, this was when I was growing up because I never got past Midgar as a kid. But when I saw Aerys die by Sephiroth's hands the first time I played Final Fantasy VII, when I got it as an adult, I cried like a little bitch. There's certain points where in instances it's okay because you get the feels, and emotions make us human. Let's not say it doesn't. It makes us human. We start to feel from others. We start to feel for, even if we feel for characters, we still start to feel for others. We feel for ourselves. We feel for our families, and that's okay. It's just at that point, it's more of you gotta learn what's appropriate and what's not. You gotta learn what's appropriate. You gotta learn the appropriate time to express your feelings. When you're not appropriately, expressing your feelings the right way, then it could turn to something, such as anger. And when you get a lot of anger, you're going to be breaking some laws because you're going to get in a fight with somebody. Now if you do see some angry drunk dude that's trying to pick a fight with you, the best thing for you to do, even if they insult your mom or if they insult the girl you like or whatever not, is just to ignore it. Just to go about your business because, they're just trying to pick a fight because they're drunk off their ass and they're just trying to pick a fight, and you don't want to get yourself involved because you get your ass kicked by the guy, especially if the guy's built and stuff like that. Two, you get arrested and get charges up to your ass about getting into a fight. So what I'm trying to say is that there's a time and place for emotional. There's a time and place for being over emotional, and time for not. Now, not just only I've seen this on, on bars, Facebook, Twitter, even on Twitch. I see streamers get over emotional about trolls, and you can't let trolls see you. You can't let trolls see you hurt or down. That's what they want. Same thing with your ex-girlfriend or ex-boyfriend or whoever is a negative person in your life. You can't see that you're doing worse. You can't let them see that you're doing worse. In fact, you should do better. You should let them see you do better. I don't care if you have to flex or not. If your ex-girlfriend asks you how your life is, go ahead and flex and say you're making a lot of money and you have a sexy girlfriend and stuff like that, because you know why? Then they can't find nothing to could dingle over your head. I'm just saying it's okay to show emotions at the right points, like a sad part of the movie, a funeral is okay. You came from a bad breakup, but you don't go to your girlfriend and do that you got a breakup from. Go home, stay off social media, go cry on your pillow, go jerk it for like 10 seconds or whatever, how long you do your stuff, or 30 minutes, I don't care. And then get back to what you gotta be doing. Get back to your work and get back to what you're doing. Eventually you'll forget about the girl you broke up with. So the point I'm trying to say is that there's appropriate times for being over emotional, and there's inappropriate times. The appropriate times are at a funeral, sad scene in a movie, or something bad happened to your friends or family, or your girlfriend's going through some pretty harsh stuff, and you want to be comforting, and that's okay to be comforting. It's okay. There's nothing weak about being comforting. The inappropriate times is when you're posting on Facebook, because most people are troglodyte trolls on the internet. First of all, they make disgusting posts. They make disgusting posts like racist and misogynistic and every kind of post out there just to discuss you. So you just ignore them because most likely they're troglodyte alt-right trolls. Or number two is don't get engaged in a bar fight because you'll either lose or get arrested. Number three, don't fight over a girl. Do not fight over a girl. Just don't. I don't need to explain why that's bad. Another way of not getting emotional is when stress comes, you got to be able to manage stress as properly as you can. Now, there are things that are super stressful. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna deny it. There are things that are super stressful that just makes things happen. But you don't want to regret what your life is. So it's mostly learning what's appropriate and what's not appropriate. It's about socialization, Like, don't be in public being in your feelings at all. No matter what you do, whether you're in an online game, playing basketball, going on a date or whatever or whatever you do outside or at your work, don't be in your feelings. But when you're at home in private, go ahead and be all in your feels, but stay off social media, because you don't want to end up like Flight Reacts, where people just, re-upload all the stuff of him, crying over his ex-girlfriends and stuff like that. So there's actually an appropriate and inappropriate time to be over-emotional. Now, the reason I'm talking about this is because I usually get comments where people put 50 pages long about why I'm wrong about something, and it's not even logical stuff. It's not even like logical stuff in the comment section. It's how I'm a faggot, I'm a bad Final Fantasy tuber, it's A, B, C, why I should just, off myself and all that stuff. I mean, I know most of them are just troglodyte trolls, but there's people that get so attached that I have to write like a 6-page paragraph. And I get some of those on Facebook too when I post the stats too, is I'll get someone who emotionally posts a 6-page paragraph of how I'm a horrible person and horrible human being. See, that's where your emotions are illogical, because you're just showing people you're in your feels. Instead of trying to bait me and tell me why I'm statistically wrong, instead of saying why I'm statistically saying I'm wrong, and trying to put like evidence and logical thinking skills and critical thinking skills and say why I have logical fallacies. No, I get like A, B, and C is why you're a horrible person, because you believe this or you think this, so therefore you're a horrible human being. And see, that's the problem. That's the problem right there. That's when being too emotional is inappropriate. You gotta learn times to be emotional, when it's okay and then when it's not. And this goes for any gender, to be quite honest. I don't think it's smart to put a 50-page paragraph of why someone's horrible, because it's just showing you're in your feels. Instead, you should try to point out logical fallacies as a normal human being would do. So pretty much this is my video of should you be should you be emotional all the time? So may the crystal be with you. And I hope you like my advice. I hope you use it for the right reasons.